Yes, ma'am.
All right, so again, my name is Jarnisa. I'm a social worker with East Baton Rouge Counseling on Aging, and I'm just here to kind of get an assessment on Mr. George and what's going on. First, Mr. George, do you prefer me to call you Mr. George or Mr. Sanders?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So before we get started, are you okay with your daughter? You are the daughter, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So are you okay with the daughter sitting in here while I speak with you?
She called you guys.
Okay.
She
So,
thinks she runs this fucking place.
all right.
I do. So he has no say when it comes to me.
Mhm. So before we get started, I do want to tell you guys a little bit about the confidentiality. Whatever we speak of or whatever is set up in your home, it stays between us. Mr. George, if you tell me anything about you harming yourself or wanting to harm yourself or do harm to others, I will have to report that to the authorities. If you tell me anything about any abuse, not that it would technically happen, but if you tell me anything about the abuse, I would have to report that. I see that you have Medicare, is that
You brought
correct?
these people here to report me.
Yes.
It's not basically to report you, it's not to go and say anything, it's just that in those instances or in those cases that those things may happen, then I would have to report it.
But he wants to kill himself.
I do, and I am.
So
Okay, so
he needs to be locked up into a psych ward.
Your mom.
why do you want to kill yourself, Mr. George?
Because my wife is not here.
Okay.
Without
and
her is no me.
What do you mean it's no you?
I'm gonna kill myself to view her again.
Okay, so you say that there is no you and you want to kill yourself. When did this begin to happen?
The moment I seen her laying in the hospital bed.
And when did she pass away again? I know that this is a hard time for you, Mr. George. I know that you're grieving. I can't say that I understand completely. I've never had
Thank you.
I've never had a loved one. I've never lost a loved one, but I do want to send my condolences for you guys. I know that it's a very emotional time. But Mr. George, I am here to just kind of assist you to try to get through your coping phase in this situation. If you would just kind of open up to me a little bit, and so that we can kind of help you.
I don't know you.
And with many sessions, with more sessions to come, we will get more acquainted, Mr. Sanders. I know that this is a hard time for you once again. So besides the passing of your wife, what events led us to this point?
Well, after my mom died, he just pretty much shut down, like eating wise. He already slowed down when she went into care, but it was like after she died and they put her in the ground, it was just like,
Oh my god.
I'm not going to eat, he won't eat anything. Like, so we have to get him insurance just to try to get him some type of nutrition, but even if it's hard to get him to drink that, like, he just doesn't want to do anything. Like,
Mr. Sanders, why don't you want to eat, Mr. Sanders?
I don't want to talk to you guys. You're making it worse. You're making it worse than what it already the fuck is.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sanders. I'm not here.
Get
I'm not
these
here to
people
make-
out.
I'm not here to make
Get these
anything
people
worse.
out of my house.
I do apologize, Mr. Sanders. I'm not here to harm you in any way. I'm not here to make things worse. I'm just here to kind of help you cope or assist you with coping through your situation. So if you don't mind, can you tell me a little bit of the happy moments that transpired between you and your wife before she passed away?
Every moment was happy.
Like what did you guys do? Did you go on? Did you take her on dates?
Yes. We
what
went
was-
on a date twice a month.
Okay, and what was your favorite place to go?
She enjoyed. She enjoyed going fishing. Oh my god.
And what else?
Oh. And Red Lobsters.
And Red Lobster. I see you holding
Where
your
you
bag,
going?
Mr.
My
George.
bag.
I see you holding your bag, Mr. George. What's wrong with your bag?
I'm having back problems.
Your back problems? Did you get that checked
Oh.
out?
well, yeah.
Oh, my knees. My knees.
Okay, I heard that. So I heard that pop. I take him to 3 different specialists about his back. They haven't found anything. Like they've done X-rays, what is something, the CAT scans, and all that stuff, and they haven't come up with nothing. Like it's all really in his mind, and it started happening shortly after my mom's death.
Okay.
It started happening back then.
Was it because you were just laying down, Mr. George? Like after your wife passed, did you just not get out the bed? Could that be a reason that your back is hurting?
It's because, the reason is because it's time for me to go.
Mr. George, okay.
It's time for me to go.
You don't think that your wife left you 2 beautiful daughters, or you have kids?
No.
Yes, I have 5. He has 5 grandkids.
Do the other daughter has kids?
She has none.
Okay. So, Mr. George, you don't think your wife left you 2 beautiful daughters and some grandkids?
No.
And why don't you think that?
I don't care.
He doesn't care about anyone but himself. George is his main concern.
Mr. George. Okay, can I ask you what's your favorite meal that your wife cooked?
Oh my God, you're making it worse.
What? I'm just trying to help us.
And I
with that.
understand you're trying to help, but you're making it worse. I
Mr.
just
George,
don't want
I'm
to
really
talk
just
about it right
concerned.
now.
I'm really just concerned about your health, Mr. George. You're not eating, so we kind of have to try to get you back on a path to get your health straight. So you're not eating is a big concern. We do have the job that I'm with, East Baton Rouge Council on Aging. We have programs that assist with eating and nutritional situations. In that case, we have one that's called Meal on Wheels. We can kind of get that in the works for him to try to see if that'll help him. Mr. George, would you be interested in that?
He's gonna say he's not gonna be interested in any services, but I'm interested and I want them in place
She
because
can eat that food. I'm not eating it.
I'm gonna be his voice of reason because right now he's being irrational.
Okay.
And he's gonna say that he's not gonna eat, he's not gonna do anything, he's gonna have to be forced. So also that was my other concern, do y'all have, in this program that y'all have, I understand I have Meals on Wheels, but is he gonna have someone here to assist him, someone to make sure that he's eating, someone to make sure, of all these things, because I can't be here 24/7.
Okay.
I just can't do it.
We do have the family caregiver support. They come in and they help. They'll be able to help Mr. George. We also do have assistants with training counselors that come in and answer any questions that Mr. George may have. They also do assessments on health needs that can possibly help with his back, and if they aren't able to, they can kind of refer him to someone. As well as they do have health screens as well. So we can kind of get that set up for him. Mr. George, for your next session, I do want you to do me a little favor. I want you to come in and kind of help me out as far as giving me ideas on fun things that we can do.
I didn't ask for you guys to be here.
I know your daughter did, but like I stated before, we're just here to kind of help
I don't want to
cope.
cooperate with you guys.
And that's fine. I'm not gonna force you to do anything, but I do hope that in the sessions to come, we're able to establish that that relationship, Mr. George. Okay, so like I stated before, what's better for you guys, 1 or 2 days a week?
None.
2 days.
Okay, so 2 days. So
I said none. I don't want
I
you guys
said
here.
2. Just because you said none, I doubled it.
Mr. George, we're just here to help you, Mr. George.
I don't need you.
I know that you're having a hard
case.
time.
Sad man.
So we're gonna do 2 days. We're looking at Tuesdays and Thursdays, possibly 4:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
And like I said, I'll look into those programs for him with the Meals on Wheels, also the assistance that he can get with the trained counselors, as well as look into some health screens. And I also look into his Medicare to make sure that he's covered with that.
Okay.
All right, nice meeting you, Mr. George. And what was your name again?
My name is Gina.
Okay. All right, nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you as well.